Alright, so this is a 1989 Fox body. I put some SVE springs on it. It lowered it a bit, but I'd like to have it a little bit lower. As you can see, it's about still a bit of a gap there. Quite a bit of a gap. That's the back. The front. So what I plan on doing is cutting these springs. They're SVE springs. I'm gonna go ahead and cut a coil off and see where it's at. So as you can see, I've previously changed the suspension a bit there. There's the SVE springs. I do have the isolators on there, I believe. I got some Koni struts there, and so I'm gonna go ahead and disassemble all of this, take the caliper off, and all the necessary things in here to drop the spring out. Okay. A little update here. I got it out. This is the bottom end here. I actually didn't put the isolator on the bottom there. I got it on the top.
What'd you cut from the bottom on top?
So this is the bottom end here. It went in this way, so I'm going to go ahead and cut one coil off. So I'll be using a Chicago Electric. Got it from Harbor Freight. Should do the job. There's a spring here. Gonna go ahead and cut off one coil right here. It looks to have done the job. Here it is right here. Exactly one coil. Go ahead and pop this on, and then I'll do the other side. Make sure it's nice and even. Okay, I'm doing the other side now. Just some things I want to point out that I didn't point out before. Make sure when you take off the caliper to hang it up there so there's no stress here on the brake line. And I went ahead and popped the nut off of that already. I just need to take off the bolt here on the shock and on the strut. Pull that out, and this whole thing will lower down. Let's take some tension off. I did put a jack underneath. So I'm gonna go ahead and disassemble the whole thing and see how it goes. Okay, so I got the spring out. This time I'm gonna go ahead and record me actually cutting it with this angle grinder here. I kind of got this camera Jimmy rigged here, but if you can see it over here. Alright, so here we go. Got it marked off right here. I got my safety goggles. Don't forget your safety goggles. Bam. Let's try this again. Alright, so I went ahead and got the springs on now. I already see a difference. It's not totally slammed, but much better than it was. I'll put the measuring tape next to it. So, if you can see that. Barely any gap there. And these are new springs and struts, so it's still going to give a little bit over time, so it should lower down a little bit more after a while, but I like this look much better. So got to do the rear now. Look at that.
2014.
It's quite a bit of a difference there from the front to back, but I'm going to go ahead and get that lowered. So I'll start working on that now. Okay, here is the rear end. Well, the rear end here. Still need to go ahead and take off the spring, but just wanted to show you before I drop the control arm there. I did replace the control arm already. The back end is a little easier to do. Just need to unbolt the shock there, and the whole assembly here should just lower down, and I'll just take the spring out and get the cutting. Here's the issue with the back spring here. As you can see, it's flush. It's flat here. So it's kind of hard to judge how much you should cut off to even out the front, to level it all out. So I went ahead and I did a whole coil, which is a lot smaller than this coil here. If you cut too much, you can't go back, so I'd rather just cut a little bit at a time. So I measured back 3 inches from this edge to here. I'm going to go ahead and cut there and see how that sits. And then actually I'm going to grind it down here too to make it flat, just like it is up here. So I'm going to grind this down a bit to help flatten that all out. Okay, so here's where we're at. Cut a bit off there. Now you can see I made a boo-boo. Make sure to not cut additional springs you don't want, but I think it should be okay. It's not that deep. But I'm going to go ahead and put it on the back and see how it sits. So I put the back wheel on, just hand tightened everything. Lower it down and see what type of drop we got cutting off the coil. Not very much. Let me sit on it a little bit. I don't want it to droop in the rear, so it's hard to tell. Granted, I didn't do the other side yet, but it's kind of hard to tell with the camera, but so I went ahead and made the executive decision to go ahead and keep it the way it is and just grind down this spring. I did some measurements off camera and verified it's just off by maybe a half inch from the front to back, which is kind of good. I'll keep it that way. I'm just gonna go ahead and grind this down using the same angle grinder here. I'll just change the blade here and just flatten it out just a bit. Not sure, never used this before, so we'll see how flat I can get it and pop it back on and then do the other side. So clearly this is my first time. It looks pretty ugly, but it's something. It's a little flat, a little bit. Gives it something to lay on. I'll take it. I'll just go ahead and do the other side. I doubt it'll pop out anytime soon or ever. Alright, so here's the finished product here. Still a little bit of a gap, but over time, I'm sure it'll close up a little bit. Here's the front. I don't know if you can see with the light. Using a Chicago Electric and got it from Harbor Freight.
What they did?
Yeah, I'm trying to make a video.
I was going to tell you. You're supposed to get a thin blade. It's a thin.
I got it. Well, I asked. This is the metal cutting blade.
It's a metal cutting blade, but
I ain't seen no other one.
It's a thin one. It's a thin one that cuts. The couple use them at work.
I asked. They said this is the only one they have.
Metal.
This is metal right here. Cutting metal.
Yeah, but you got the thinner one that cut it. Could have brought some to work on.
Yeah, what was that one that I got?
I think when you had silver, it's better. But that'll work.